Hi, this is Kristen here. Welcome to another process video, and today I'm working on another Halloween layout, and so I am starting off using Prima's Bewitched collection. I really wanted to do another layout with this collection, but with this particular photograph, I just did not feel like it worked. I had tried to edit the photograph to kind of like soften the color of the orange shirt and that, but I just felt like it did not go with kind of the tone of the picture. And so you can see me tapping my hands on the layout itself. And usually if I'm doing that, it's something I'm not liking. I'm contemplating it. So anyways, I try to look through these die cut pieces and just cannot. I just am like, no, this is not going to work. So I end up pulling all this off. Now you will see this fussy cut pumpkin and that paper come into play with another layout that I post here soon. So, of course, I'm going to pack this all up. I was kind of disappointed, but, I'm like, if it doesn't make sense and I'm not happy with it, I'm not going to force it. So I've totally pivoted. So now I'm using Doodlebug Hey Pumpkin. This is the collection I just recently purchased. I got what I could of it. It's kind of hard to come by, but I was able to get my hands on quite a few pieces here. So I really like these happy little pumpkins in the background. I felt like that made more sense. So I was going to do like just a traditional layout, layer some papers. I was going to do mat her photograph. So this is my daughter, mat her photograph on just plain black cardstock. And then layer papers up behind this. As I start layering papers up, and you'll see, something about it felt off. It just felt like the papers that I was layering, A, took attention away from the pumpkin paper, which I thought was really cute. And B, it was just clashing. Something about it was clashing to me. So I will end up kind of reworking this. This is one of those layouts that it kind of kicked my butt a little bit. So my daughter was probably, I don't know, about 3 months old here. So here's where I'm going to start trying to like layer those papers in. And I'm like, it just takes away a lot from that pumpkin paper. I just felt like the colors really didn't go. It didn't look cohesive. I mean, I probably could have made it work with that, but something about it, I was just like, I really like the pumpkin paper, but I also want things layered up behind her. And so I just was like, you can tell I was like banging my head against the wall here. And I felt like I picked out the right collection for this picture. It was just trying to come up with how exactly I wanted to lay this layout out. Again, there's the tapping of the glass mat. So I end up finding some black cardstock in my stash. And I'm like, okay, well, let's see if we can make this work somehow with this black paper, do something with this pumpkin paper. So I decided to cut it in strips. So I had bought a fringe scissor. I don't know what you would technically call them, like pinking shears, I guess. And so I had been wanting to make some kind of layout with fringe, just had not gotten around to it. So here's where I'm going to start cutting the fringe. And initially I thought I was going to just do like, maybe just strips of it across the paper and then layer her photograph over it. But you'll see I kind of pivot with that idea too as well. So you can see I don't go very far with the fringe. I just wanted to make sure I had, gave myself enough of a spot there to put adhesive down and for the fringe to not want to rip. So I decided here, I'm like, what about making a border with it? And so that's kind of what I'm doing here. So all of these pieces I've essentially cut out, gotten the fringe part done on them. did that all off on camera or off screen, and then got that. I liked how this looked, but I kind of felt like I needed some more layering up around. So I decided to pull in this paper that I had like some leftover pieces of it from another layout, and decide to add this around. And I felt like that put a little bit more interest back onto the pumpkins, because I kind of felt like that black fringe was getting lost a little bit in the black paper. I had off screen tried to pull in white cardstock to see if it would work better just with just that pumpkin row, and the white cardstock just looked off. So anyway, so I went ahead and adhered the photograph down onto that black cardstock. My initial idea was to use that black cardstock as my main paper, but kind of as I was looking at it, I'm like, I kind of want to make the black fringe too. So I was just going fringe crazy. I don't know. So I started off like I was going to just trim this up a little bit and then use that kind of plaid paper in the background as kind of almost like a border. And then kind of as I was looking at this, I was like, I don't know that I really like that. Like something about it felt off. I don't know. So I kind of kept trimming like little pieces of it off to see if I could make it work. And at this point, this is where I kind of am like, you know what? I want to just do the blackened fringe too. So I'm like, let me just trim off some of this and let's just go for it. At this point, it was like, again, I had hit my head against the wall so much with this layout already that it was just, I just kind of at this point was going to go for it. So this is where I was like, okay, well, do I really want to do it? So I decided, I'm like, well, let me just test out an area here. And if anything, if I don't like how this looks at the bottom, I can somehow cover it up, put some kind of embellishment over it, disguise it somehow. So that's why I've not trimmed down the sides at all. And I'm like, you know what? I kind of like how that looks. So that's why you see me kind of holding up my hand there to see like how it would look, trying to visualize if I cut off that, that part of that black paper there. Now, of course, when I go to do the fringe here, I don't go all the way to the edge because obviously I was going to have to kind of pick which side of the paper I wanted the fringe to go all the way to, because obviously this is all one continuous paper. It wasn't layered up like the other paper. So that's kind of what I picked a spot to stop on one of the papers, and then kind of what I'm doing here is going back in and just kind of trimming some extra fringe up by the corners, but being careful not to cut into the fringe of the other paper, part of the paper. So, because then otherwise then you would have a corner with no fringe. The pumpkin piece and that plaid piece wasn't a problem because I had essentially done those all in separate strips, so that was not a problem. Whereas the black was all one solid piece. I don't know if I'm explaining that very well. And so I decided to go away from that plaid paper. I really like this polka dot paper. So it's just white with like a bunch of different colors. Polka dot, I just felt like that looked kind of happier. It also went with her little, I kind of felt like it went with her little bow, which was a polka dotted bow. And then I was going to try to work on a color cast design acrylic piece there, but I just felt like it kind of kept getting lost in her onesie. So I'm going to pull out some title pieces here from Doodlebug. And then I'm going to pull in some of the die cut pieces. So the all the package with all the different kind of title pieces, wordy bits, those are typically called chit chats. So that's where you're going to find all of your kind of your title pieces. And then this is just a die cut set with like different, you know, kind of characters and that. So. And now I'm really liking this layout. So as much as I was kind of banging my head against the wall, trying to get to try to get going on this layout, I really like how this looks. I feel like it matches the picture a lot better now. And sometimes too, I find if you have a layout like this where it just kind of, it's challenging to you, sometimes walking away from it, which I did not walk away from it because I actually had some time to work on it. I feel like sometimes walking away from it, you'll get kind of a new perspective. Sometimes you'll come back and like the initial idea that you had going, you kind of rework it in a way that'll work for you. But with this particular one, I definitely feel like pivoting from the Bewitched to this Doodlebug really made more sense. And so I added some little candy pieces, and here's the fringe, so I'm just showing you that. And I really love how this turned out. I thought it turned out really cute, kind of matched the mood of the picture. And here are a few close-up shots. I really appreciate you for coming by to watch another process video.